Hey guys, it's Insetic. Welcome to kind of a vlog welcoming in 2019. I know it's already February, but January 2019 was kind of filled up with Amped 2. So I want to make a video kind of leading into, well, 2019 now and showing off what games I still have yet to touch for what consoles. And then I sort of want to talk about maybe some ideas I have for the channel for 2019, since I'm having trouble focusing on picking a specific game, and I think maybe I have too much to cover with trying to do the same amount of coverage that I've done, so far for the channel for all of these. So I want to welcome you to Insetic's Game Corner. Fairly literally, this is where I have my consoles and all of the games. We see the Xbox with the Amped stuff on it, and then I've recently bought a 360 and a Nintendo Wii, and we have the classic PlayStation 2 in the background, and I've kind of got it so I can't really see what the camera's doing, so we're going to cut into where I'm behind the camera now to look at the games for each. Right, so as I expected, first thing I saw was that I didn't really aim at things very well when I couldn't see what was behind the camera, so first I just wanted to show Xbox, my original controller, and also on the PlayStation 2, I have a PS2 to USB connector, and that's how I'm able to emulate. Well, that's how I'm able to play with the PS2 controller while emulating. So again, I just want to mention, these are the games I have not touched. Like, for example, you see Off-Road Fury 1, 3, and 4, but that is because I've already played Off-Road Fury 2 for a whole series for my channel. So you know what? Let's start with the PlayStation 1 games. You can see a lot of these were purchased back in Kansas City at Vintage Stock, but I want to mention, I'll get back to that, sorry. A lot of these were purchased recently, locally here in Denver at a chain called Level 7 Games, which is basically same as Vintage Stock, and I'm really glad to have found them. And I even told them my channel name, so maybe they're watching. But on PlayStation 1, we have 2 Extreme, 3 Extreme. We have like this Action Man Operation Extreme, which maybe I can pull some of these out because I've forgotten what the heck this was. Oh, I don't know, but it looks pretty extreme. And then we have ATV Quad Power Racing. Oh god, hold on. There will be quite a few cuts because this is, obviously I don't have like a GoPro cam. We have a game just called Big Air. And then I have some of the cool borders, 2 and 4. I don't have 1 and 3. When it comes to PlayStation, I'm nervous because that's tough to capture and play normally. And so I was really trying to go to emulation for those. So we have Championship Surfer, Die Hard Trilogy 2, and then of course we have, in the big cut case, ESPN 2 Extreme Games, which went on to be known as One Extreme. I have, obviously, before they changed the name of that to One Extreme. I don't know if that makes the value good or bad or what. You'll also notice that I don't really have a main case on that. Freestyle Motocross McGrath vs. Pastrana. I've had that since I was a kid. I did not need to buy that again. Probably, from what I remember, pretty standard game. And some that I don't know if I ever will play just because they're too good, like Jet Moto. But Miracle Space Race. If you remember ATV Racers and that super budget game, yeah, this appears to be the same exact characters. And I'm trying to get it without glare, but literally just seems to be a reskin of that game. So that's good. MTV Sports Skateboarding, I'm so sad that there's just that awful input lag, because that feels like a game I should cover fully. No Fear Downhill Mountain Bike, Polaris Snowcross, Power Shovel, and I have that kind of, well, alright, I don't have it in packaging, but I do have it, and if you notice, I bought it for like 15 bucks. Apparently this might be getting more expensive. I don't know. I'll hold on to it just in case. Sledstorm, and then like physically I only really own like Tony Hawk 2 and 3, but that's okay because I have a bunch of those emulated. And then like Wipeout XL and Wipeout 3 I actually have for when I was part of helping out Jamie the D's Wipeout series. Blank Tester and I were in a few of those videos. Alright, so now I'm going to cut to a new video for some of the next games. Alright, you see that I kinda had to do that because my PS1 games normally go, you know, stacked up in a corner. But I guess, real quick, let's go over my GameCube Untouched collection. The only main real game that I need to get to is Wave Race Blue Storm, and I have that emulated. Otherwise, I have Dave Mirra 2, but that's just so that I can have Dave Mirra 2 for every console. And I also have BMX XXX, and that is so I can have BMX XXX for every console, baby! You note that on the GameCube and Xbox ones it says keep it dirty. On the PlayStation 2 one it does not, because remember, the PS2 one was actually censored, even though you notice these are all M-rated. So, I probably don't need to actually play GameCube BMX XXX, but Wave Race Blue Storm is really the one remaining GameCube exclusive that I haven't gotten to on the channel that I probably need to play with the same amount of level and care. And you know what? While we're in this video, let me pull out the Xbox collection, since as you see that's in front of the PS2 collection. Let's see if we can do this. Alright, so like, again, some of these aren't all extreme sports games. Some of these just look pretty extreme, like Blood Wake, high-speed gunboat warfare. And, yeah, it looks almost kind of like a Hydro Thunder, but like with guns. And so some of these I think would just be funny for, you know, a bit of stream, maybe streaming for a half hour or so. Freestyle Street Soccer is interesting because apparently it was a Blockbuster exclusive. You'll note that I don't have like the NFL Street, NBA Street games. I think those team games like soccer, basketball, football kind of get away a bit from what I'd consider extreme sports. But let's see, Greg Hastings Tournament Paintball. I just saw that so much that I finally just bought it to see what it was like. Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition obviously isn't an extreme sports game that I want to play in the same way. This, I kind of just want to play just because I remembered about it and just like, you know, cause too big, house too big, everything big. You know, like just, oh man, the memories that are with that game. Sean and I might be fun experiencing it again. So now getting to the actual extreme sports games, we have MX Unleashed and MX vs. ATV Unleashed on the Xbox, which, if you notice and will zoom correctly, I don't know if these are going to focus right. But these two games are some of the few that can go up to 1080i on an Xbox 360, MX Unleashed and MX vs. ATV Unleashed. So I actually showed MX vs. ATV Unleashed off on the PS2 already, but if I ever do a series on it, and it's a very competent game, so I might play the Xbox just so you guys have, you know, literal 1080p gameplay. Alright, what else? So then you start getting into the Outlaw series. And I have these spread across PS2 and Xbox. Again, I kind of bought whatever I could. But like Outlaw Volleyball Red Hot, apparently there were some Blockbuster exclusives, kind of DLCs, additional discs. So I have that for Outlaw Volleyball. Then I have regular Outlaw Golf, but Outlaw Golf 9 Holes of Xmas. 9 more holes, which again seem to be a bonus disc, a bonus material. Tony Hawk 2X, and then again, my Tony Hawk collection will be spread across PS2 and Xbox. So on Xbox, I have Underground and Underground 2, but again, I'm trying to get a lot of those emulated. So I'll pull those out, and we'll move on to the giant PlayStation 2 collection next. Okay, so PlayStation 2 collection, and I'm going to try and refrain from pulling out too many of these, because as you see, it'll be pretty tough. So as I've mentioned, this is, you know, the pile of games I have not shown. So I have ATV Off-Road Fury 1, 3, and 4. Then I have Big Mother Truckers under that. Again, you know, kind of pushing the boundary on just extreme stuff that might be funny to watch in a stream. Then something like Bodie Miller Alpine Skiing, I've actually had for a while. If you see yellow tags all stacked onto each other, that's something I bought years ago back in college. And this just looks super boring. I've never cracked it out because it just looks so boring. It looks like alpine skiing, like Olympic alpine skiing. No tricks, no cool kind of stuff. And so I've sort of held off on it. But again, maybe it might be something good to show off for 30 minutes to an hour. So Cool Borders 2001. The Cool Borders went to the PlayStation 2 for a little bit. And then something just like Ford Racing Off-Road. Again, it may be so boring it'll be funny. Gadget Racers, that's a game from my childhood that, again, doesn't really count. But I've got Gravity Games Bike in here, even though I have shown something off for it, just because the people always want more. And so in the back of my mind, all those requests of full LP means it's stuck in this collection of stuff I might need to get to or get back to. Then I've got Hot Shots Golf 3 and Hot Shots Golf 4. I don't really have a lot of experience with them, but they look wacky. Hypersonic Extreme, I played this game as a kid. This game had the greatest level editor. It's kind of like it's like a Wipeout kind of like futuristic game. Exclusive track editor, like all parts of it looks, you know, 2000 dated, but trust me on this. This had such a great track editor. You guys should look up videos of what people have made online. Jeremy McGrath's Supercross World. I showed a bit of that off for Memorial Day weekend, but I feel like I should show off more. This Motor Mayhem game I picked up recently. It looks like a demo derby kind of thing. MX Rider, because I still somehow haven't gotten through all the MX games. Oh yeah, and this tiny one was MX vs. ATV Untamed, which apparently came out on the PS2. Now this, like Nitro Bike down here, I know I said I wasn't going to try and pull out too many of these, and you can see that it's getting tougher. This Nitro Bike, I didn't even know about until I saw this on the shelves of one of the level 7 places, but like it looks perfect for my channel. Extremely fast, extremely fun. The makers of Excite Bike 64 gain boost by pulling off sick tricks. I mean, they even call it sick tricks. Look, bowling, gimmicks. This looks like perfect. It looks perfect. Like it's going to be janky, it's going to be weird, but it's going to be perfect for the channel. And then, yeah, going back and kind of filling out my Outlaw collection. On the PS2, I have Outlaw Golf 2, Outlaw Tennis, Outlaw Volleyball Remixed. Now moving over here, Powerdrome looks again like one of those futuristic kind of games, you know, fight or die. We have Rocket Power Beach Bandits, which I'm sure some people are excited to see. Some people talked about Shocks, which is kind of the other EA Sports Big game. It's EA Sports Big's take on racing. And so I need to test that out. You know, because I kind of have been like, car racing games, you can't really trick, can't really da-da-da. It's not really the same as the rest. But EA Sports Big, I mean, SSX, Freakstyle, Sledstorm, Redo. So in that same line, Ski-Doo Snow X Racing is another one that's been there a while. It just seems so boring. I haven't played it yet. Some of you asked about Sonic Riders, so I have Sonic Riders and Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. I picked up the Star Wars Racing sequel just because I remember loving that as a kid. Swing Away Golf looks boring, but again, maybe fun for a quick little stream. Test Drive Unlimited, more for me. I just remember the Test Drive series as a kid. I had Eve of Destruction as a kid. What happened to the Test Drive series? Does anyone remember or care or has anything to say? Tennis. This is like a game where it's not even in its original packaging. It's just from GameStop. Tennis. It's just called Tennis. It's probably boring as hell and might be funny for like 10 minutes. So on the PS2, I have Tony Hawk 3, 4, and Project 8. Then this game called War Jets, which now I'm holding the thing in my offhand. But again, kind of like that Blade Storm Xbox game, or Boat Storm, Bloodwake, sorry, I just looked over. it looks like kind of extreme, where altitude meets attitude. Oh, yeah. So again, more stuff that I could maybe just play for a second or two. Especially like Wild Wild Racing or Winter Sports 2 Next Challenge. Wipeout Fusion, again for Jamie's series. World Destruction League Thunder Tanks. And Extreme G3. Extreme G3 is one of those where, like, every game we bought, the manual would advertise it. And I know I'm pulling out Wild Wild Racing. Just because this is another one that I didn't know existed until I saw it. And it's just like, oh man, just look at it. Sometimes you can tell from a front cover. It'll knock your shocks off. You know, sometimes you can tell a book by its cover. So a lot of things, as I keep saying over and over, that might be good for just a little bit of streaming. All right, now let's move toward the 360 and Wii sections here. All right, so like I said, for the longest time I was just PS2, Xbox, but I've actually moved to the next console generation because GameStop, and yeah, GameStop, most people are going to complain about them, but they've actually been, still got Warjets here, been trying to offload these older consoles. So like I picked up a 360 Slim, you know, for $80, $70 and a Wii for a little bit less. I didn't pick up a PS3 because I don't think there were enough exclusives. You know, all I can remember is like MotorStorm and Nailed. I can't remember any others. But to start with the 360, of course I've got Amped 3. I remember playing this for a night as a kid. I don't remember enough to make an opinion, but it certainly looks clunkier than Amp 2, and they moved in a much wackier direction. We can get there if we want to play Amp 3. I think I'd want to make a full series. Fuel, just a huge racing game. And, you know, you get to this next generation of games, and the extreme sports definitely starts to thin out, and it's really motocross that sort of dominates. You see the Mud, and then MXR's ATV Alive, Reflex, Untamed, Pure. I got Pure back, and I have Shaun White's snowboarding and skateboarding. Now, again, this is a pretty good time to say that I probably don't need to play Shaun White skateboarding, as our friend Big Mac 93 already has played that, and hopefully I can make a card. I have Skate 2 and Skate 3. You'll note I don't have Skate 1. I'll talk a little bit about kind of the mystical games I couldn't find in person that I may have to order online or have buddies look for. But I do have, this was not a game I expected to get in person. I have Stoked Big Air Edition. Stoked feels like one of those games that came out and just people just don't remember. So, like, I you know, people know Shaun White came out, but who remembers Stoked at all? Who played Stoked? And then I have Project 8 and Proving Ground. For the Xbox 360s. Now here, moving over to the Wii, and what I noticed about the Wii was there was a lot of garbage. This is great. I'm so glad the Wii has some great opportunities to find some absolute trash, like maybe ATV Quad Kings, or if not that, Cabela's Adventure Camp, baby, which, look, Have Fun Griefing Your Friends is on the front cover, and I gotta admit, kid on the jet ski is totally about to grief the kid on the bike by crashing headlong into him and probably killing him. But yeah, you wanted to know where Dave Mira went. He went to Dave Mira BMX Challenge, which is kind of not exactly Dave Mira 3, but you want more 3D bike riding game. Oh, is that Monster Energy I see? I might just have to sip a Monster while playing this game. I know it's going in and out of focus. But yeah, there's some stuff just for the Wii that I'd never found otherwise. Like Glacier 2 looks like a action-packed racing game. Car Combat. So again, maybe I could play that for a bit. Jeep Thrills. Sorry. Looks like a zero action-packed game. King of Clubs. Looks like Hot Shots, but for the Wii. It's certainly got some attitude to it. A lot of these, golfing especially, tried to hit you with the attitude. Oh, but who's excited for Madagascar Cards? Oh, sheesh, y'all. Like, just stuff like this looks terrible and amazing. Apparently, MTV versus MX versus ATV Untamed went to all platforms, so maybe I'll play this a bit and see how different it is. Speaking of different, Shaun White Snowboarding Road Trip. Apparently the Wii version is a lot different than the Xbox 360 PS3 version, so that'll be something to check out. And also, Skate It is the Wii exclusive game in the Skate series. But then, of course, there's also Sled Shred featuring the Jamaican bobsled team, which I'm not even going to really stick around on that too long. Tony Hawk Downhill Jam. Apparently on the Wii, there's no, like, freezing. It's actually kind of intuitive. I know I already played it for PS2, but maybe I'll just play it here. I have Tony Hawk Shred, even though I don't have the board. You notice I didn't have Ride or Shred for the 360, so those are ones I may need to pick up. And finally, we have Wii Ski, balance board compatible. These people just look pumped. And all that. Hit the slopes. Oh, it goes to French or something, like, immediately. Okay, well, I've only got a little bit of recording time, so I'll put this all back together and then I'll give my final thoughts. So, one extra addition is that what all of that means is that there are some physical games that I still need to get that I might have to order online or have someone back in Kansas City help me with. And so those are SSX Blur for the Wii to round out my collection of the SSX series, and especially that game since there's not much for it shown online. I can get SSX 2012 once I go back home for the 360. I know I have that. Or Tony Hawk's American Wasteland. I did not see that anywhere for either Xbox PS2 or Xbox 360 PS3. That seemed like an odd one that I just could not find. It's on the subject of skating games. Skate 1. I only saw Skate 2 and 3 wherever I looked. So those are the main games that I still need to get physical copies of. Alright, so the thing we didn't even touch with all this is what I have emulated. I've just recently picked up a bunch of Game Boy Advance emulator games, and also what I have on Steam. Like there I can get Steep and Mark McMorris and, a lot of the newer games. So there's a lot to show off, and I've really enjoyed streaming with like Tyler Lasagna, Zindictive, maybe there's some other people we can reach out for. So I'm wondering if maybe for a while I should look at trying to stream more often and stream kind of variety pack of some of these games. Or if you guys prefer I focus in on pick a specific game. Jumping to another console is kind of scary and such, so I still haven't fully set up the 360 or the Wii. Maybe I'll just play Amped 2 some more. And speaking of, Amped 2, I don't know. I could show off some more things for that. I could show off all those videos I've been skipping, or like I've talked about one final kind of tour. It's actually, I kind of tried to do a speed run, a 100% speed run, but I realized that would take like 6 to 8 hours, and I'd have to do like some of the really bad legend challenges at the end of that. And I don't know, maybe you guys want me to suffer, but like this Saturday I could probably stream. So like stuff to think about, something to think about. Maybe 2019 is when I narrow down this collection and what I have online into what I know I'm going to do eventually and in the future. Like past, Tony Hawk and SSX and all the obvious ones, narrow down this giant collection into what I know I want to do. So please, as I'm running out of recording space on my phone, leave your thoughts in the comments section, and I'll see what to think for 2019. Thank you. Bye.